Street Talk and other stuff. Mad Dog Mike Downey. Thanks for tuning in this fine Monday morning. And I think I've said this a couple weeks ago that spring is here, and then we got that dump a week ago last Friday, I think it was. But the one thing good about that snowfall was that it was gone in a couple of days. But hey, I really appreciate you tuning in today. I've got a really good guest. This is a great asset to our community that if you don't know him already, I want you to know him. But I want you to stick around because I've got a good show for you. So Street Talk and other stuff, you stick around. We will be right back.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCW Life, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
When your heating or cooling system is giving you trouble, call the Diagnostic Doctor from Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning.
Here's the culprit right here.
All joking aside, when you call Dick's, you're calling 35 years of experience at customer service right here in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's strongly believes in repairing before replacing, and they service all major brands of HVAC units.
Highlander Golf Course and Grill, your place for fun, food, and friends. Happy hour every day, 2 to 7. Try their brand new menu and famous prime rib every Saturday night. Planning a celebration? Book your holiday party, wedding, or private event, even in their exclusive simulator rooms. Highlander Golf Course and Grill, where every day is a celebration. Visit today.
For over 35 years, the Sangster family has been not only representing GMC, but the entire community.
As one of the few family-owned dealerships in Washington, you can count on our personal integrity, which has spanned over 3 generations, to ensure your satisfaction.
Sangster Motors stands behind everything we sell, from GMC professional-grade products and service from a professional-grade dealership.
Remember, caring about your family is what brings you back to ours.
For free. Okay, we're back. Street Talk and other stuff, and I want to introduce to you Steve Evitt. Steve,
good morning.
Nice to have you. Now,
Thanks.
Steve is a 25-year veteran with the Wenatchee Police Department. He's just retired, and he's about to go to work for the SAGE.
2 weeks ago.
Domestic Violence and Sexual Assault Advocacy Center. Actually, have you started?
I started last Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So, tell us a little bit about yourself. You know?
Well, I grew up in Portland, and at least before the aliens arrived, and back in 1995, I moved to Wenatchee as a youth pastor,
right.
And then probably did that for about a year. Met my wife during that time. Got married.
Okay.
Got married in 1998.
Okay.
We had 3 kids, and from her first marriage. And all 3 of the kids now are married.
Okay.
I have.
Did you end up adopting them or anything like that, or did they continue?
Not officially, no.
Okay,
nope.
all right. Okay.
No official documents, but they're my kids.
Yeah, did they continue relationships with their bio dads?
They did.
Okay.
Yeah, they did for a little bit.
Okay.
There was visitation, and it all worked out. We didn't have any significantly negative issues towards that. So yeah, they kept in touch with him as much as they could. And they all of them have kids.
Okay.
My oldest has two children, 2 girls. Our middle has 1 girl, and she is 5. First 2 are 11 and 9.
Oh,
and then
cool.
Our son, who is our youngest, he is about to have his first child in
really?
June.
So you're going to be
super excited.
Right,
yeah, super excited. Grandparenting is, I'm sure you know, is the greatest thing in the entire world.
It does something to your brain. Stuff that your kids used to irritate you when they did. You think it's great that your kids are doing.
I kind of feel like you already had that though. Yeah, your brain was already
Well, well, thank you very much.
Yeah, you bet. And I can say that because you were my supervisor for
a couple of years.
A couple years at least, 2, maybe 3.
Okay, since you brought it up, I will mention that. Okay,
Yeah.
Steve and I did work together for a while. And when he was transferred to my unit, I was warned. He's difficult to work with. That's what I was told. And I had never worked with you before, didn't know you that well.
Yeah.
So we sat down and we did what was called a management interview,
Who called it that?
I called it that.
Oh,
whatever,
okay, just checking, yeah. I figured.
But I said to him, and I tried to do that, what do you expect of me? I said, okay. And then I said, this is what I expect of you. We wrote all this down and signed it. And I thought maybe that you would be a little insulted that we did that.
Oh.
But you were fine. I never had a problem with you. You were a great officer. You did a great job.
Like I said, I came to Wenatchee as a youth pastor, so I had a little bit of experience with supervising people. Certainly had experience supervising teenagers.
And you were a little bit older too, right?
And I was, I was 32, I think, when I first became
I was 34
a police
when I
officer.
started police work.
So expectations of your people, whether you're on the same level or whether you're supervising them, expectations are normal. I mean, I am a difficult person, but you just, as long as you don't cross the path, then we're going to be good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I must have done okay.
You did
because
great.
You and I got along fine.
What's funny about that is because I was older even in youth ministry, I was a little bit older before getting into it full time. I did it for a very short time, and police work was the same thing. I already had a little bit of life experience with just relationships, people, and in youth ministry, a lot of the organizational side of that, a lot of the how you interact with people was very relationally oriented. So as long as, and you treated me like a person for the most part, I think.
Yeah.
But as long as you treat somebody like a person, I'm going to get along.
Yeah. Well, we had no problems at all.
No, didn't have any problems at all.
And you were probably, you had a BA degree, didn't you?
I did.
You were, there was
theology degree. Yeah.
I think when I joined the police department in 1986, Captain Deerfield then said that with you joining more than 50%, now you put us over the 50% mark of people with BA degrees. So.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, because back then,
I couldn't even tell you
an AA degree was what was required.
Right. Yeah, and since then, there's no degree required.
Are you serious?
I am serious.
Really?
Yeah. It's become more and more difficult to get people that want to get into police work, as you can imagine, in the last 5 to 6 years, and so that requirement went away.
Really?
But the standard of hiring, is, interacting with both Chief Reinfeld now and Chief Crown back several years ago now, the standard for the people that they wanted to hire, that hasn't changed.
Yeah,
but it's just the degree level.
I'm sure it's
that's
gotten a
changed.
little bit stricter too.
In some things, yeah.
And are they by any chance doing psychological
Still.
tests? Well, when you say still, they didn't when I was hired.
Are you sure?
Thank God.
Yeah.
No.
When you were hired.
When I was hired.
Oh,
And
okay.
this
When
is
I was
back in
hired, we did have.
Okay, this is back in 1986.
Yeah. I was hired after that.
Right, you were.
In case you didn't realize.
remember.
Yes. 2000. 25 years.
All right, now I also remember, I know you were a youth pastor, but were you a teacher at one point
No.
too?
So after a year in youth ministry, I decided I wanted to do something else. And so before even testing for Wenatchee PD, I was accepted into the 2-year certificate program for secondary education at Central Washington University. The extension here.
Yeah,
so that's where you're probably getting that. Is I was intending to go to school that September before I got hired, and I think within 2 weeks-ish before that, before I was actually supposed to start school, that's when I got a call and said, hey, you want a job? And I thought, do I want to go to school for 2 years? Do I want to go to a job?
What prompted you to apply to be a police officer?
So Doug Jones, at the time, he and his wife Jennifer and their family, they were attending Calvary Bible Church, which is where I got hired.
Yeah.
And then I continued to attend, even though I wasn't hired as a youth pastor after that. And Doug Jones one day said, hey, you should look at, because again, knowing that I was going to go to school, but there are other opportunities out there. Hey, you should go look at police work. It's, you're helping people, and et cetera. And so I can give it a shot. I mean, I knew I was already, the time between when I was going to start in the certificate program and when I talked to Doug Jones, that was probably 5 to 6 months.
Okay.
So it was a long time.
So you didn't grow up wanting to be a cop?
Oh no, I had no. Yeah, I mean, when I was a kid, my mom, we had those books. I don't know if you had one that, what do you want to do when you grow up, and each year you have things that report cards and stuff. Anyway, just a mom's way of remembering what you did in your childhood.
I think my mom did not want to remember my.
That's fair. No, you know thyself. That's good to go. Anyway, so I think I remember if I were to find my book again, which I have no idea where it is. Sorry, Mom. It says on there, police officer, firefighter, I think. But truly, no, I had no inclination. Okay. Back in high school is when I started thinking about youth ministry. Okay. And then after getting into, I really liked being a volunteer, as opposed to being in charge of, and that being your paid position, or at least back then. Now I've, after 30 years of work, my interests in whether it's supervision or other, that has changed.
Well, I'd like your opinion on this. I read a book a while back that talked, I wish I remembered the name of it, but talked about the similarities between police work and ministry.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And they talked, and one of the things is that people get into it to help people. Mm-hmm. Very often, the contact they have with them is only when there's some sort of crisis. Mm-hmm. Okay. And he said there were a lot of similarities between what police work and people of the cloth would do. Now, would you feel, what's your opinion on that? Having done both.
Having done both, I would say there's less of that kind of similarity at a patrol level, because you really, you're responding to that in crisis moment on a hourly, half hourly, even sometimes a minute by minute basis. But you don't in the ministry. The different piece to that is you're responding, but you're staying, versus patrol, you're responding, you're staying for as long as you have to. Yeah. And I don't mean to make that sound super negative. It's not. It is what it is, right?
Nobody wants the cops hanging around forever.
For sure. And so that initial, yes, there's some. However, like in my job, my last job as detective, that was actually quite a bit more like ministry than a patrol job was, because after getting that initial report, you read over what you're going to do. Inevitably, as a person crimes detective in particular, I spoke to 4, 5, 6 people, many of them family members. Sure. And so you interact with them. I interacted with them purposefully.
Yeah, you got interacted with them
with their lives.
Sure.
That to me is more like a youth ministry, or even any type of ministry position where you're not just talking to them in their crisis moments and or other times, but you're walking with them. Similarly to ministry.
Sure.
So, and that's why, as a detective, that was probably the most fulfilling part of that job.
Yeah,
and
I mean, because you're really
why I appreciated doing it for so long. Yeah,
you were really hands-on
with people. So, yeah. You be a resource, because there's a lot of resources in the community, including Sage, which now I work for, obviously, but there's a lot of resources out there, and as detective, I can help people get to all of those different resources. And even that, I may not have that direct contact or direct helping them change their lives into a better place, if you will. But I can funnel people to that, and that to me is also just as fulfilling as if I were directly involved.
Yeah. Now, it's pretty clear being a detective was, and we're going to get into more detail on that in a minute, but that was probably the most favorite.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
Okay,
no
all right.
question.
What else did you do? Patrol, of course.
Started on patrol, just like everybody, and then next was traffic, traffic officer for about 2.5 years, and then my last position before detectives was school resource officer.
That's right. Yep.
For 4 years, and the funnest part of that was my son was a senior.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he was a senior my first year as school resource officer, so that was kind of fun.
Was that problematic for
Never.
him? No.
Oh my God, my kids were They drove themselves, man. Yeah, we had. They were great kids.
My daughter
great
was in high
kids.
school, did not get invited to a lot of parties. Because when I found out about him, I would tell the parents. So okay.
Yeah.
All right, we're talking.
No, I had a couple of those. Yeah,
Okay.
there was a couple of those.
Okay, we're talking with Steve Evitt. He is a retired detective with Wenatchee Police Department. We're going to get into more specifics about that and with his current position with the Sage Advocacy Center. But we need to take a break. So, Street Talk and other stuff. You stick around. We will be right back.
NCW Life Channel is your local TV station. We believe in being the spotlight and mirror to the communities we serve in North Central Washington. Programming on NCW Life would not be possible without our sponsors. Special thanks to our platinum sponsor, Alpine Air. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air.
Apple Valley Honda is bringing the future of driving to you. Introducing the all-new, all-electric Honda Prologue EV. Say goodbye to gas stations and hello to a whisper-quiet ride and zero emissions. The wait is over. Finally, a local option for a quality EV from a brand with a track record of exceptional quality and reliability. Experience the Honda Prologue EV for yourself at family-owned Apple Valley Honda. Stay close to home and visit us at Apple Valley Honda today for the life you live.
Hey, welcome back to Save Mart. What can we help you find today?
We're looking for a mattress.
Oh, right this way. We got a large selection. We have this pillow top here.
Oh, comfortable.
We have more to choose from down here.
Oh.
I think I have the perfect one over here for you.
I guess we'll take this one.
You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
A kitchen that makes mouths water and jaws drop. A bedroom from a dream with a bath from a spa. A walk-in you'd never want to walk out of. A pool like the fountain of youth. And a view that never gets old. When buying or selling a home of the highest standards, it's comforting to be represented by a real estate company with standards to match. Coldwell Banker Global Luxury. Live well with Coldwell.
Sex crimes anymore.
Okay, we're back. Street Talk and other stuff. Talking with Steve Evitt, a 25-year veteran of the Wenatchee Police Department, just retired. His last 12 years, he was the, well, what I always call the crimes against persons, or persons detective.
Yeah, I don't think it's in a contract anywhere. Yeah, crimes
well,
against persons.
Well, that's the name I gave it
Sure.
when I was there, okay? And now he is working with the Sage Advocacy Center. So, talk about the job you did for the last 12 years and how that's segueing into what you're doing now.
Sure. So most of the cases that I dealt with were, actually most of them were probably sexual assault cases. Okay. And that involves both adults and children. And some of it was a little bit of abuse. Anything related to persons could be domestic violence if they were at a felony level, assaults, that type of thing. And so back at my first experience with Sage, way back 12 years ago, they did not have any designated child forensic interviewers. And child forensic interviewing is the training that we have to have, anybody has to have who is going to interview a child for legal purposes, whether that, again, is a child protective services only type of investigation or a both criminal investigation and CPS involved as well. And so over the years, but when you do those, best practice for the state of Washington and most states in the United States, best practice is to have those interviews at a neutral site, like in this case, Sage Advocacy Center. And Sage is not just our domestic violence center, is also our child advocacy center, our crime victims, as well as sexual assault advocacy. So that organization, Sage, encompasses all of those.
Cool, good.
And so most of my interaction, especially in the first probably 4 to 5 years as detective, was in the child advocacy portion of that, where if I had an interview, whether it was a victim child, witness child, take them down to Sage. They have a room there that has cameras, microphones. Usually prosecutors want all of your interviews recorded, both audio and video. So, and that, again, that's best practice anyway from the standpoint of any type of sexual assault or neglect investigations. So take the kids down there, meet them, interview them, as best as possible, get as much information as possible. So my interaction with them was in that respect, that aspect of my job of just interviewing. But over time, you just like in any organization, I personally feel that you want to have those relationships. So over time, intentionally getting to know people, not so much after work, but even having a coffee here and there, and just Sage being both at an administrative level as well as the people that I worked with. Developed a relationship over time.
And I mentioned to this earlier, I ran into a couple folks that were working for Stage at a protest a few weeks ago. So Steve Evitt's going to come, oh, we love Steve, oh, he's a great guy. And that speaks to your interaction with these folks, how well you did, and the respect they had for your work. And
thanks, Mike. I
well,
appreciate
come
it.
on, you are to be commended for it. Because we have agreed the work you do. I mean, we see the macho stuff with the guys on SWAT and that kind of thing, and all that's fine. Not to take anything away from them.
Yeah, I'm not so macho, right?
But man, neither am I. But it's when you're dealing with the kids and these type of assault cases and everything. That is.
Well, that's, and you said before too, while we were talking at break, nobody wants to talk to kids about sexual assaults, right? I mean, that's a really hard thing because it's not just. Tell me a little bit about what happened in those interviews. It's tell me everything that happened.
Yeah, I know,
It's details, it's body parts, it's things that
and learning the kids' terminology
and learning their terminology. Yeah, absolutely.
I remember now, it's a gal named Jan Hindman, who created a profile or a protocol called 12 Steps to Legally Sound Sexual Assault, child sexual assault.
Okay.
And that's what I followed.
Oh, that's what you were talking about.
Yeah, talking about earlier.
Before the child forensic interviewing.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Title.
See, because when I did it back in the 90s, there was no training at all required. Okay.
Right.
So, like I said, I taught myself, spent $100 on books. But one thing Hindman said is that you need to get comfortable with using. Sexual terms and stuff. So what she said, she suggested that you take your wife to a public restaurant and discuss sexual issues.
And make sure everybody hears you. Yeah. Okay.
No. She didn't say that. But I would say to Rosie, we'd be at McDonald's. I'd say, Rosie, we need to talk about sex stuff. No, shut up. So, yeah.
Fortunately,
because it is, you have to train yourself to be able to do that without getting all red in the face and embarrassed. Because a kid's just going to go, this guy can't handle it.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah, no, for sure. Right? And that's right. It's almost like it's not acting, but because that's after 12 years, sure, having a conversation about sexual assault does become normal in the job.
Sure.
But initially, you're acting, you're looking at the child, you're saying, tell me more about that word, tell me more about what that means, tell me more about, and then you're using those words after they use them to explain how they understand it, because a lot of kids don't know the correct anatomical word for all of the body parts. So you just use whatever they give you. Yeah. So it's definitely you're responding back to them as if this is normal.
Sure. And you had to be prepared with, of course, the suspects too, when they would tell you what they did.
Oh yeah.
Without showing.
Right.
Without being
disdain or disgust.
Exactly.
Or,
you have to, have to not make them think that.
Oh yeah. No, there were many suspect interviews over the years where I made them feel like, that's kind of that's my kids do that too. It's like it's no big deal. I've never done anything like that in any way, shape, or form, but letting them feel like you weren't being judgmental of them outwardly.
Yeah, you couldn't show that disdain.
Not at all.
Okay.
Yeah, no, you don't get people shut down on that.
All right. So what are you doing for Sage now?
Currently, so my title is managing director. It really is just what it says. I'm managing people, HR, finance, as well as I will be learning about all of the grants that provide us with the funds that we can do what we do.
Okay.
And then filling out those grants as well as maintaining our compliance, the benchmarks when we have to turn stuff in to let them know that we're still using their money, the state's money correctly, and that kind of thing. So,
okay, well, good. So
yeah, all admin, just people. The great part about what I'm really looking forward to in that position is having to continue to develop those relationships that I already have.
Yeah.
But there's several people with the Child Advocacy Center people. I'm very familiar with them. There's other people on the DV side, on the crime victim side that I haven't had a little bit of interaction, but not a ton. And so just looking forward to that relationship time where I get to know people and get to encourage them, because that's again with the job as detective, being able to encourage people. You need this resource, or just use me as a bounce off, or just get frustrated with me because the criminal process is frustrating.
It is very.
That relationship for me.
I don't want to go there.
Don't do it. Stay away from the dark.
Okay, but look, I got to cut you off, okay? Because we got to take a break. But
All
we're
good.
talking with Steve Evitt, 25-year veteran of the Wenatchee Police. He is currently the managing director at SAGE, our advocacy center. But we need to take a quick break, come back and say goodbye to Steve when we come back. So stick around. Street Talk and other stuff. We'll be right back.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCW Life, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
You trust the same doctor for your health and the same dentist for your smile. Trust Global Car Care to keep your vehicle running strong. We track your car's history so it gets the right care at the right time. With our 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty on parts and labor, you'll drive away with confidence. Global Car Care, your automotive experts. We service all makes and models, but specialize in Sprinter vans, Mercedes, Audi, Volkswagen, and BMW. Call or visit us today.
Okay, back. Street Talk and other stuff. Now, Steve, what are you looking forward to? Because this is going to be a major switch. Okay?
Yeah, it is. Actually, looking forward to just being able to still be a part of the community, even though not in the same role, but I'm still going to have the interaction with the law enforcement people, still going to have interaction with Child Protective Services and all of those other organizations. I mean, my job does not strictly require me to do that because again, I'm HR, finance, and grant compliance. I could probably close my doors, shut the blinds, and not have any actual interaction with people at all. But I'm looking forward to continuing those relationships over the years. Because we're going to need things from all of the other agencies, to include, who knows what the funding sources will look like in the next 2 to 3 to 5 or less years. And so just keeping those lines of relationship open with all the different agencies that I did work with and now will just work with in a different way. I really look forward to that. It'll be good.
Yeah, when I retired, I did not want to do anything police related. Okay, matter of fact, Captain Murray, when he was doing security for the town Center.
Oh no, yeah, I will never do that.
He said something to me about, would you be? I said, Captain, you and I have tried working together. It ain't gonna work. But I do enjoy.
Don't you remember? Yeah.
Enjoy. I do like the fact that I still read a lot of police reports for my domestic violence and anger assessments and that type of thing.
Yeah.
And working with some of my counseling clients.
Yeah.
So that contact is nice.
Yeah.
All right. But
I've got a few families that I still have a little bit of contact with from casework over the years. And, it's nice to be able to still hear how they're doing well. Sometimes they struggle. I mean, they're all related to some type of trauma.
Sure.
But yeah, no, those are good, fulfilling relationships.
Yeah, good relationships to hang on to.
Yeah.
So, okay, well, I want to thank you.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it.
I appreciate the work you did. I appreciate your dedication to service. I mean, how your job is something that was close to my heart, and it's just very, very rewarding to have had someone like you do such a good job you did. And I
Thank
hope
you.
your predecessor continues. So,
Oh yeah, they got good people still.
And
Yep,
good,
a lot
you
of
know,
good people
and
there.
I'm glad you're working for Sage. Sage is a great organization. They do a great job, and I think you'll be a real
looking
asset
forward
for
to
them.
it. Thank you. Yeah, looking forward to it.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, again, thanks for
Appreciate
being
it.
here.
Yeah,
Street
thanks for
Talk and
letting
other
me
stuff. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you being here on Monday. And I hope you have a great week. Spring is coming, and we will see you next week. Have a great day. Bye-bye.